Like, let us click on this one.
In 2015, One Direction, the biggest boy band at the time, announced that Zayn, one of its 5 members, was leaving the group because he wanted to be a normal 22-year-old who is able to relax and have some private time out of the spotlight. Zayn also said, "I know I have..."
See, the same music again. She's doing that only because the music got no copyright issue and she can monetize the video when she puts that particular music in there. But you have to be sure that that music is going to go only for one video, not for all of them.
4 friends for life in Louis, Liam, Harry, and Niall. I know they will continue to be the best band in the world. But what happened next was the complete opposite. Zayn did not continue a normal life. Instead, he debuted as a soloist. One Direction, now a 4-member group, continued their planned tour without Zayn, released their promised follow-up album, and announced that they were going on an indefinite hiatus.
You're taking a year-long break.
Would you a year off?
You're not going to be like years and years out.
No. Let's give it 18 months.
It's been more than 8 years since One Direction's hiatus, time in which the members have revealed how they really feel about each other and the group. For Liam, the One Direction members were more co-workers than actual friends.
You know, the day the band ended, I was like, thank Lord for that. And I know a lot of people are going to be mad at me for saying that, but I needed to stop or it would kill me.
Zayn said that he actually left the group because he was unhappy with the group's musical direction and his inability to put any input in, and said that One Direction's music was generic. After Zayn left, he had public arguments with Louis on Twitter, and recently Louis revealed that he really thought their hiatus was going to last a year or 2, and that's why he took the longest to start his solo career. In recent years, the tension between the members has cooled down a lot. They now seem to be more respectful towards one another, but the idea of a reunion seems highly unlikely, since they've confessed that they don't really talk to each other anymore, and they are all very focused on their solo careers. But this whole indefinite hiatus lie has left some kind of trauma on fandoms and pop culture. Although it's hard to admit it, One Direction is not on an indefinite hiatus. They actually disbanded in 2016. This is why when the current biggest band, BTS, announced that they were going on a temporary rest from group activities, many who don't really know BTS's story instantly assumed that history was going to repeat itself. Many said that BTS is going on the quote-unquote hiatus that One Direction went through, and that they are not actually coming back. And whenever a BTS fan says that BTS is actually coming back because they said they will, many respond this exact same phrase. That was what One Direction said.
Indefinite hiatus, man. Do you know what that means?
One Direction is still on it.
Yeah, exactly. You know what indefinite hiatus means?
Reminds me of One Direction. P.S. They never did get back together.
But BTS's story as a group and as individual artists, as well as the inevitable circumstances and reasons as to why the BTS members are on rest, are completely different to One Direction's. And this frantic reaction by the media and the general public say a lot about how One Direction destroyed the true meaning of hiatus by pretending to be friends and giving false hopes to millions of young fans. On the other hand, there is multiple evidence that can convince even the biggest skeptic that a BTS comeback will happen. There is even a contract and an approximate date of when this will happen, and it's not too far away. Probably the biggest mistake of Western media and the general public is treating BTS as a Western act who follow the Western rules of music and pop culture. Because in Korea, if a music label and the members of a group say hiatus, it actually means hiatus. This is especially true because hiatus are not very common in K-pop, but disbandments are. So music labels and groups don't really have the need to give false hopes to fans because every year dozens of groups disband and dozens of groups debut. And it's common for the performers part of a disbanded K-pop group to re-debut either as a soloist or as part of another group. Disbandment is not a word that groups avoid. However, it's true that BTS is different from these K-pop groups because they are some of the biggest artists on the planet, and their disbandment or hiatus would be news around the world as a negative thing. And that that was what happened.
BTS are going on hiatus.
The boys of BTS are headed in different directions.
BTS just announced they're going on a hiatus to focus on their solo careers.
I don't know if I think they're gonna come back.
BTS just revealed some major news, and it's not smooth like butter.
Like, maybe it's time to move on. The K-pop supergroup broke hearts around the world, announcing they're going to take some time to focus on solo projects. Their management says it's not a hiatus, so kind of sounds like it. I mean, I guess all good things must come to an end, right?
So to translate the idea, tainted by One Direction, BTS and their label had to go out of their ways to reassure global fans and the general public that their rest from group activities actually means rest from group activities. There are many reasons why BTS's and One Direction's hiatus are different, but here's one. For One Direction, it was a decision. For BTS, it was unavoidable. Whether the BTS members wanted it or not, it's mandatory for every Korean man to enlist in the military for 18 months. So BTS planned to announce in 2020 that they were about to serve their mandatory military service and going into a 2-year rest in very careful ways, because the hiatus stigma that One Direction left in fandoms was too big to simply say that they were going on a hiatus, because no one would actually believe their words. This is why BTS prepared a lot of special content in 2019 and 2020 to promise their fandom army and the media that a comeback after their enlistment will happen, including promoting their album Map of the Soul 7 as their biggest and closing project of their first chapter as BTS. Many songs from this album were past BTS songs reimagined. They plan to promote this album with a massive global tour. They also said goodbye to 2019 by revisiting their old eras and performing their old songs in award shows. They also plan to release their Korean anthology album Proof and their Japanese anthology album The Best as projects that mark the first of many chapters. And they also said that BTS's chapter 2 was about to start.
We believe that this...
Okay, see? 6 minutes into the video and I got the idea that what is going on. Alright, so then we have the BTS law, then we have the new contract, then we have is BTS doing too much, and conclusion. Like, it's too much information from now on. But yeah, I got the idea. Like, if somebody wanted to, I mean, it's like I had no idea what his hiatus means. Hiatus. Yeah, and I wanted to know why it does not apply to BTS, and I got it. Thank you so much. I got it.